Hello Blizzard fans, this is FalconPaladin coming to you with yet another daily Blizzard upload. This is a game between Asheir and Paz on Echo the Ladder Edition. This game was submitted by Sad Das. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but they emailed me at falconpaladin@gmail.com with this replay and said it features a lot of Legacy of the Void units. So I said, okay, I'll cast it, and in case you have any Legacy of the Void interesting replays, let me know, and I will cast them as well. Just send them to falconpaladin@gmail.com, and you'll see them on my channel. In the bottom right of Echo the Ladder Edition, we have the red Protoss player, Asheir. And in the top left of Echo, we have the Zerg, purple Zerg player, Paz. Now, one of my commenters on a previous video said you shouldn't really tell us who submitted these videos because then we know who the hero is, we know who's likely to win, and it kind of spoils the ending. In this case, I honestly don't know who's Paz here. I don't know, or rather, who Sad Das is. I don't know if it's Paz, I don't know if it's Asheir, so we're going to check things out. Was that actually a hatch first from Paz? It was. Paz being very, very gutsy against the Protoss player here. Going hatch first, into spawning pool, into extractor, so going to have some gas units out fairly soon. Forge fast expand actually from Asheir, so this pro might be able to get some cannons down, but at this point I think it's a little bit too late into the game to see that happening. Yeah, I mean back here trying to make some mischief, but actually gets caught in the corner and bam, the probe gets taken down. Bit of a misclick there. A bit of a tip here for you Protoss, Zerg, and Terran players. If you get a worker stuck in a corner like this and it's being attacked, if you actually click on a nearby mineral, patch, or anywhere really on the entire map, a mineral patch, the probe or the SCV or the drone will actually do what's called a mineral walk and just pass through the units that are blocking it and get to that mineral patch no problem. So you could have actually kept that probe alive there, Asheir, but next time you will know if you're watching this broadcast. Either way, we have some Zerglings running around. Speed's not quite up yet in the Protoss base. We are actually having a robo facility. He has shown there, his tech of choice. We are getting 4 gas, yep, 4 gas. Is it all fully saturated here? It looks like almost 2 workers on these gases. I'd be expecting, what can I see here? What's in that production tab? Actually nothing for the Zerg right now. And no units actually being made at all for the Protoss player. What does he have? A single Zealot and 35 workers, which is actually tied with the Zerg player. Nobody making much of anything for attacking units at this point. Just kind of both macroing up. We'll have to see what they decide to do. I'm really, really excited and waiting for these LOTV units to pop out. And Sad Das, if you are tricking me, then shame on you, but we'll see what happens. I trust the internet. You know how it works. What's going on? Really nothing much at all. I mean, Gateway, Observer, Roach Warren, pretty standard stuff. Upgrading to a lair. Okay, this is where I have hope. Once this lair is up, we should see something interesting coming down from the Zerg player. Perhaps Lurkers. Lurkers would be fun. Haven't seen those in any of the casts from other people yet. I did make them in my first Legacy of the Void game that I played, but haven't seen anybody else do those so far. So let's take a look at that production tab again. Anything crazy happening? The lair is finished. What are we going to do next, Paz? Roach speed. Alright, whatever. And an evolution chamber. Fantastic. Maybe I should speed this up. Really nothing much at all happening. No harassment whatsoever coming from Asheir. The Zerg player really should be on 3 bases by now. There's the 3rd base. I mean, recognizing that 2nd base was out as fast as it was, the Zerg player is probably actually behind, having that 3rd base just barely starting and the 2nd base being fully saturated for so long for Asheir. Anyway, Paz, what are you doing here? Roaches are coming out. Roach speed's coming out. Roach attack coming out. Overseer coming out. There we go. Twilight Council. Could be some interesting things. Robotic Spay. Probably some Colossus. We'll have to see what we get with the Protoss player and his choices. Forward. Nope, not a forward pylon. Rather an observer. Scouting across the map here, trying to see what he can see. And, oh, alright, we actually have some Ravagers. Now, Ravagers are an interesting unit. They do 16 damage in a range of 4, weapon speed 1.14, and target ground. So they can attack air, they're kind of like roaches that way, but they have this ability called Corrosive Bile. It launches a missile at the target location, dealing 60 damage to all units in the area upon impact, and can also destroy force fields. Now, that is actually an amazing ability. Zerg players for a long time have really had no ability to destroy force fields until Ultralisks come out, which is so late game. So having these Ravagers with their ability to shoot a projectile into the air and land it on a force field, effectively destroying it, makes Protoss defense a lot more difficult. You have to wall off, you have to have units that can shoot, you can't just hide behind a wall of impenetrable force fields anymore. So we'll see what these Ravagers do. A Ravager Roach composition is very interesting. Again, very susceptible to an air-to-ground attack. So like Voiders would be super good here. And actually, we are warping in Disruptors. And Disruptors are pretty darn good. They are ground units. They actually don't have any attacks on their own. You notice just plasma shields and armor. With this ability, Purification Nova. Basically, it gives them a 67 increased movement speed, and then after 3 seconds emits a powerful Nova, dealing 145 splash damage to nearby units. 145 damage. Roaches have 145 hit points exactly. Ravagers 120. So you get you get a Disruptor into the middle of this and it explodes and casts that spell, and every single one of these things dies. I mean, it is crazy powerful. So we'll see if it stays that way again. This is a beta. We'll have to see how effective these guys can be. But here comes the attack, the push out with the Roaches, with the Ravagers, the RR composition. The Observer sees exactly what's coming, and using the Corrosive Bile, trying to take down that Mothership core. Not a fantastic play. I don't think, really nothing can shoot up. Again, there we go. Disruptor gets in there, kills 3 Roaches, and then has to escape. Another Disruptor attack kills so many Roaches. There are still some left, though. Ravagers, Roaches trying to do what they can, but the Immortal here isn't enough to chase them off. Another Disruptor hit. This Disruptor has 2 kills. Is there another Disruptor on the map, or did it get killed and I missed it? It looks like I did. Overseer trying to get out of there, but Stalkers are so fast. The Roaches are forced to retreat. And there goes the Overseer, exploding into a pile of mushy goo. Now the Protoss player is on the offensive, feeling like he killed a lot of stuff. Killing Creep Tumors, feeling very proud. Here comes the Disruptor. Do we get another hit on this group of units is the question. Here we go, moving right on into the middle, and bam! A pretty good split there, actually. Roaches to the right, Ravagers to the left, doing a lot of damage. And Time Warp coming down now, slowing down units on the inside. This Queen left all alone, and she actually manages to survive. Well played, Corrosive Bile, kind of missing the target again. It's a little bit hard because you fire it, and it takes a couple seconds to actually hit the target. You'll notice fire, hit, which gives the Protoss player enough time to escape. So, I mean, there's really not a way, unless you can keep them where they are with Lings or Roaches, kind of trap them in a certain spot and then fire them up. Yeah, I mean, they just missed again. Stalkers are just too fast to get hit by those if the Protoss player knows what they're doing. And Asheir doing a pretty good job with these Blink Stalkers back and forth. Ravagers don't actually have too many kills. 1 kill there, 0 kills there. So maybe not the best unit at this point. I mean, again, really good at destroying force fields. But again, the Zerg player has not been able to get up to the base at any point in time and actually make use of that ability. What are we making over here? Gateway, pylon. So pretty much mass gateways and disruptors here for our Protoss player. No use of the Robo Bay whatsoever at this point. Yeah, Robo Facility is actually the one that makes the Disruptor. So here we go. It looks like, do you need the Robo Bay for that? I should know this. I apologize that I don't. But yeah, Disruptor, Robotics Bay, anyway. Another attack coming in. Roaches, Lings getting cleaned up. Man, these Disruptors, 2 kills, 13 kills on that Disruptor. And the Zerg player is forced to retreat once more. Making a 4th base now, but a pylon coming up. We might try to cannon this out or warp in some Stalkers to deny this 4th base. A good play here by Asheir. This is why you want to bring an Overlord over to watch your bases that are far away from your base actually hatch, because then you can see this kind of stuff that is happening. You'll notice that the this base that as it's building can't actually see back there. The visibility range of Zerg buildings that are hatching or morphing in is tiny, so you can't see much at all. Then there we go. Zealots warping in, going to try to take this down. Ling's trying to take out the Zealots before they can actually kill. Forces the cancel anyway. Hydras are here now. Hydras do very good against this composition, against sentries, against Zealots, against cannons. But in the end, it did force the cancel. The Protoss player now has his 4th base up. This does not look good at all for the Zerg player. We're making more and more Ravagers. We're getting upgrades for the Ravagers, armor, and attack. Lings coming in, Hydras coming in. Lings mostly soaking up damage, I have to imagine. They are pretty cheap. Cannons actually hitting the Hydras here, but none of them die. The probe goes down, and so does this pylon. Pretty big army here. Disruptor, Stalker, Sentry, Zealot. It's a pretty good combination, good against both air and ground. Again, the Disruptors are just so powerful in this particular matchup right now. Let's see what we have. More disruptors coming on out. Do we have upgrades? Yes, we do have upgrades as well. Okay, so we are getting extended thermal lance. Man, I knew what that was called. Anyway, extended thermal lance for Colossus, which I don't think we have any right now, do we? No, we do not. Maybe we're going to make some later. I don't know. Zealots pushing on into this newly attempted to be created 4th base. A 5th base actually coming up over here. This base is going to die. Yeah. Good cancel, though, there by Paz, recognizing the danger and canceling before he loses the 300 minerals. We have... Alright, we're burrowing their... Okay, Lurkers, actually. Lurkers here. Coming on in. Roaches, Hydras. Lurkers doing a ton of damage. Disruptor pops on in and explodes, killing a couple of the Lurkers. But Lurkers actually have 200 hit points, so they're actually harder to kill for those Disruptors. Another Disruptor goes down, and the Zerg player manages to push Asheir back. So that was pretty amazing, actually. Lurkers are strong against Protoss. Again, from my previous video, you'll know they do 24 damage, 36 to armored with the upgrades. I believe it's 20 and 30 without the upgrades. Chasing this Stalker home are these Zerglings doing what they can, and we do manage to destroy a couple of them. In the production tab, which we need to pull back up, more Lings upgrading ourselves to a hive, and more Disruptors coming out. And Lurkers are here, actually getting killed by one of these cannons. They can detect Lurkers because Lurkers are considered invisible or cloaked units when they're burrowed like this. They cannot attack unless they're burrowed, which makes it pretty good. This base is going to die. Paz doing a nice counterattack with Roaches and Lurkers. Really no air units whatsoever for the Protoss player. Asheir could probably use some Void Rays to deal with this. Or maybe some Colossus as well. That might be pretty darn good. But not producing any Colossus, getting Psionic Storm, which can be pretty nice. You can actually burn up a lot of Roaches with that. I have to imagine the Lurkers are harder to kill, just because, again, they do have that 200 hit points. They do have the 3 armor with a +2 upgrade, which means they start with 1 armor, making them a lot tougher. This guy has 6 kills. He is a Slayer. Burrow or get out of there. Run, Lurkers, run. Oh boy, there is a Colossus, and there is an Observer, so you can't burrow and stay hidden for too long. Amazing death animation. Still glowing red is the corpse of that Lurker, sacrificing one of his buddies. Look at that, poor thing, just burning to death. Disruptor comes in, try and kill this Lurker, but it can't. Why can't that Lurker hit that? Oh, there we go. Now it did. That was weird, like a delay. Either way, the Lurker gets taken down. Another push here with Roaches and Hydras and Lurkers. A good composition. I like this. You can deal with air units. Hydras do tons of damage from behind. The Lurker's trying to set up a forward position to siege, trying to bait out the Protoss player, I think is what's going on here. And yeah, here we go. When the army comes to the right side, go up the left side and see what damage you can do. Disruptors getting into the middle of everything and killing several Hydralisks, and more Roaches going down, but there are still a lot of units left for the Zerg player. Can they catch this Colossus before it escapes? Yes, they do get one. A Disruptor might go down as well, and it does. Good target firing there from Paz. A single Lurker probably could move these guys up. There we go. Unburrowing, moving them on up. More Roaches coming out. Colossus being produced. There come the Void Rays. All right, Void Rays are very good here. Although there are Hydralisks on the field, I don't know how effective they're going to be altogether. Man, look at that. Doing tons of damage to everything that comes down this ramp. Lurkers are super good against Protoss because so many other units are armored. So here we go, setting up in this good positioning area, burrowing the Lurkers, going to town on one of these gateways. Hydralisks and Roaches destroying cannons, destroying Stalkers. I don't know if there's enough to deal with this. The Colossus, 2 Colossus here actually. That is a huge deal. Might need to retreat. Paz getting caught a little bit with Colossus from the bottom, Colossus from the right. The Lurkers do pick up and move the heck out of there. It is, what is it, 57 workers to 73 workers. The Protoss player is up. We need to saturate this base. Probably get another base as well, Zerg player. Come on. Kill this base. It's already been reestablished. You need to probably come back and try to kill that if you can with Lings. There's not much there. Morphing in more and more Lurkers. Are we getting those upgrades as well? We're pretty much stuck on +2/+2 at this point. +3/+3 would be nice to see. We do have the Hive. Injects are actually pretty good for Paz. Probably could be better on this one. 200 full energy there. Again, injects are so hard for Zerg players to keep up on a consistent basis. I feel like this is probably about a gold level game, I'd have to say. Just because, again, the Protoss player left the Zerg player alone for so long. But again, pretty good micro on both sides. I'll have to see. Burrowing in here, I don't know if that's a great choice. Actually, a lot of Lurkers tearing through this Protoss army. Hydras and Roaches just going for it here. Gotta focus down those Void Rays if you can. Hydra's actually doing a good job of it. Last one falls. The Roaches move up to kill the final Colossus. Asheir is defeated, leaves the game, and Paz is victorious. So, Pretty amazing ZVP here from Legacy of the Void. It was fun to see the units, the new units in play. Man, the Disruptor is pretty powerful, but again, also pretty effective, or pretty expensive. Let's take a look and see how much it costs exactly. We can't. Either way, we'll figure that out, but thank you so much for watching. This has been FalconPaladin with yet another daily Blizzard upload with the Legacy of the Void content that you've been wanting. If you'd like to catch more of my uploads, go ahead and subscribe. Hit that like button on YouTube. You can also find me on Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook, all at /FalconPaladin. And until next time, as always, you take care of yourself.